Alright guys, it's time for the big reveal. 54 is on Harrods Beauty Coming Soon section of the website, and soon it'll start selling there. And in this video I'm going to give you some glimpses of the packaging and the bottle and give you some details on this fragrance I collaborated with JUSBOX and Julien Rasquinet on. So if you're curious to learn about 54, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I'm talking about 54 today. This is the fragrance I worked with JUSBOX on, and it was my idea. The brand came to me and asked me if I wanted to collaborate on a fragrance with them. I said yes, I will do that. And they asked me for a brief, and they gave me 2 perfumers I could work with to pick from. And of course I picked Julien Rasquinet. And it's been probably almost a year and a half we've worked on this. And initially it was going to get a later launch later on in the year, but thankfully it's launching now, sometime very, very soon. So this is going to be a quick video on the presentation and a little bit of the smell. I will do another video disclosing a lot more information once the embargo lifts, but as soon as maybe this video airs, the Beauty Coming Soon section is also going to be, the fragrance is going to be moved to the for sale section of Harrods website. But yes, this is the packaging right here. If you look at the sides here, it's, what do you guys see there? Well, I should tell you the inspiration. The fragrance is inspired the infamous nightclub in New York City called Studio 54. So when the brand JUSBOX came to me and asked me if I wanted to collaborate, I was trying to figure out something that they hadn't done before. You know, it's a music-inspired brand. They have fragrances inspired by Nirvana, Amy Winehouse, and jazz musicians, David Bowie, classical music, and reggae music. So genres and all these things. But they had never done anything on a nightclub. And I thought, since I've always wanted to do some kind of a project with this nightclub, because I always wanted to go, I never got to go because I was too young when the nightclub was around. I felt like this would be a great opportunity to collaborate on a fragrance for the brand JUSBOX. So it's a year and a half after it's finally making its way out. Let's go ahead and open it up. But I'm gonna give you some more details. So it's a 2024 launch, obviously. I personally would call this a woody spicy. It's focusing on patchouli. The patchouli is the focus note. That's what I wanted in the fragrance. I was thinking about 70s fragrances, what was popular then. Patchouli oak moss was popular. And also green fragrances were popular. I think we were trying to go in that direction. It didn't work out, unfortunately. And what we settled on here, after tens and tens of mods we worked on, I think I might have pushed Julien Rasquinet a bit too much. We actually ended up with something really great. It's almost like a gourmand, but not quite. It's patchouli focused, but it has, let me tell you the notes breakdown. On top, it's got Pina Colada, Cardamom, Davana. In a nightclub during the 70s, late 70s, Pina Coladas were really popular. So I wanted to have a boozy effect. In the heart notes, we've got saffron, chocolate accord, Nagarmotha, cinnamon bark. So this is very cinnamony. Those of you that like cinnamon would probably really enjoy it. And finally, in the base notes, we've got Rhum, vanilla resin absolute, sandalwood, patchouli, and tobacco. So tobacco, smoking was allowed during the clubs at that time. So I wanted tobacco in there. And of course I wanted the patchouli because the patchouli was what a lot of fragrances smelled like. They were overdosed with a lot of this overdose of the patchouli. And so during, your time at a nightclub dancing, the fragrance is projecting off of you and it's leaving a massive trail, which is kind of what I wanted. But it's a very modern fragrance because I wanted something that would appeal to people now that are, into fragrances. I also know that there's a big gourmand trend. So I kind of wanted a little bit of a gourmand effect happening. And I've been testing out little samples that I was given, and I've been wearing it, and I've been taking it to a lot of folks and getting impressions from folks. Everybody seems to be enjoying this one. Everybody loves the trail. It's really big. It's really intense, which is kind of what I wanted. The whole idea with this is just envisioning the trail, the projection off of someone with their body heating up in a nightclub. Because I used to go quite a bit. I love to dance, and you know, I enjoy this kind of music. This is inspired by disco music, but I enjoy all kinds of electronic music. So going to clubs and dancing, nightclubs happen to be very cool, kind of chilly because everybody's sweating, you know, they're dancing, warming up, and this perfume is kind of projecting. I wanted that to happen with this fragrance, and we've really accomplished it. The other thing I want to tell you also before I open this package box up, I was recently contacted by Neo and Marcus, and they said we just got the new Patchouli Paris in from Guerlain, and I thought, you know what, let me take my remaining sample of 54 there, and let's compare side by side with Guerlain's new Patchouli Paris. While I do enjoy the smell, it's an aldehydic, soapy, clean patchouli, but next to the 54, it was pretty weak. This is a pretty intense concentration. I believe it's around 24%. So it's not an extrait de parfum, it's a eau de parfum, but it's a higher concentration than your traditional, you know, eau de parfum fragrances. But I personally would call this a woody, spicy fragrance. It's a 78 ml bottle, and I don't have prices for you guys yet. But let's go ahead and open it up. But going back to this, these are disco balls, by the way. So I like the design work that the team at JUSBOX did. We collaborated on the design work, but for me, it was mostly about the juice itself. I had a great time working on this project. Now I want to do more. Keep in mind, I have another fragrance that's been in the works. Hopefully that will launch soon as well. But I learned a lot from this because we had worked on multiple concentrations of this fragrance and how different it smelled from going from one concentration to the other. But I think what we came up with is really, really great. I'm so happy to see the reactions from people. And I haven't sprayed from the bottle yet. It's mostly been the samples that I had brought back with me back in late March, early April. So now I can't wait to, you know, spray from the actual bottle. But here is this. So as you can see, there is a record look. You know, I had a big, massive vinyl collection for the longest time. I've always been into music. There's something that I want to show you, but it'll be on the next video when we can reveal all the details when the embargo lifts. And I'm not sure when that is, but I'll show you more details. But there's also in the box, there's like a CD art, which I'll show once we are able to. But there's also a record version of it that I'll show as well. But inside each of the boxes from JUSBOX, there's like a CD sleeve, which basically is the size of a CD, which comes with the fragrances because, after all, it's a music-inspired fragrance. So here it is, 54. I like what they did with the cap. Can we see the camera right there? So on the sides it says 54, on the front is 54. So it's a great looking bottle. The design work is kind of simplistic, just like me, not overdone and too busy. It's classy, and again, the smell is amazing, I think, but you'll have to be the judge. It's focused on patchouli, but it does have a creaminess. It's interesting what people get from it. Some people get chocolate milk. I always talk about chocolate cake patchouli. This doesn't act too much like chocolate cake patchouli, but then it does, but more chocolate milky. The cinnamon is pretty prominent, and I think this is going to be perfect come holidays because it does have a bit of a holiday vibe. It's very warm, spicy. But up top, you get a little bit of the fruity, pineapple-y pina colada, but I think it also lends itself to the creaminess because pina colada, coconuts, and things like that. I love the spices up top. It's great. This is really delicious. Now that I'm smelling it from the bottle, because all I've had is a sample, like not just one sample. I've had multiple little 10 ml samples that I've been playing around with since I came back from Europe on the 1st of April. But now that I'm spraying it from the bottle, it's really, really great. Really yummy. So the focus note is patchouli, and there is vanillic touches here. There's warm, spicy touches. There's boozy touches. And on skin, it's not coming through on the paper. On skin, the tobacco does come through. The tobacco, for me, is not necessarily uber smoky. Perhaps there's light smoky touches in here. But it's more of the leaf and also the aged leaf smell. There's a bit of a slight dirty funk with the tobacco leaves, if you've ever smelled them. It's in here, and it comes through on skin more. But you get the booziness for sure. You get the cinnamon. You get the vanilla, and you got the chocolate, of course. More patchouli than chocolate. And then, of course, that creaminess all running throughout it. And I think that's, smeared from that pina colada coconutiness. So it's fruity with the pineapple, but I wouldn't call this like fruity like an Aventus fragrance. It's more coconut and pineapple together, which the pineapple has lost its tartness, but there's a fruity aspect to it when you first spray it. But that fruitiness develops into the creaminess. Davana also provides a slight green booziness, but not quite. And there's some light leather touches in here as well. So this is 54. Again, this is on the Beauty Coming Soon website as of the shooting of this video. But it's supposed to be on Harrods for sale on the 18th. What I'm going to do is stop the video now, go and prep it to air it, and then within the next week or so, I'll air the second part of this video, which is giving you a lot more information on the actual fragrance. Well, you'll see visuals and things like that. And I'll air that on the day of the embargo lifts. But for now, 54. This is a great fragrance, guys. If you're a patchouli lover, I think you're going to like it. If you like milky fragrances, slightly gourmand leaning fragrances, warm spicy fragrances, boozy fragrances, I think this is going to satisfy. I've had a lot of fragrances that were boozy and tobacco-ish, but nothing with patchouli. I've always had boozy, tobacco, and vanilla, but you can really notice the patchouli in this because it's mostly a patchouli-focused fragrance. That's the key note. That's the prominent note, the main note. That's what I wanted. And that's the note that's going to give us all that projection and sillage and things like that. But this is so nicely done by Julien. He actually incorporated the vanilla, which vanilla and patchouli do work nicely together. But also, when you take away the patchouli, vanilla, boozy notes, and tobacco work really well together as well. So all of these notes together are playing so wonderfully together. So he did a great job. Anyway, 54. And let me know what your thoughts are on the name. Remember, it's a Studio 54 inspired fragrance. This is a music brand with inspirations of their fragrances are either bands or musicians, singers, genres, and things like that. So this is the first time they've done a fragrance focused on a nightclub, and it's the Studio 54. But do let me know what your thoughts are on what I've shown you so far. Put some comments down below, and then stick around to find out more information. And I will reveal all that additional information once the embargo lifts. But I appreciate you tuning in today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Now I'll have to go air this and then come back and shoot part 2, which you'll see very soon. Bye-bye.